if you're a Christian in sales and you're ready to go to the next level in your income without using like sleazy tactics and things like that, I'm going to walk you through this step-by-step process. This is what I call the 90-day sales accelerator, and it's 5 steps to success in sales. So this, I'm going to go through who this video is for. If you fit into any of these categories right here, this video is going to be good for you. If not, then you can turn this off. Okay. So first of all, this video is for you if you feel stuck at your current income. You feel stuck at your current income. In other words, you've been making kind of the same thing every single month, month in, month out. But no matter what you do, it just doesn't seem like you can break through that consistently and get to that next level. So maybe you're making less than 6K a month. So what is that? That's less than, I believe, that's 72K a year. You're making less than 72K a year. You're like, hey, I want to go to the next level. Maybe you're making 50 grand a year and you're like, hey, I want to make 100 grand a year. Hey, this video is going to help you. It's going to show you the step-by-step process that you need to do to consistently get above that number. Next, you don't have clarity on how to sell consistently. So every single conversation seems different. Every single conversation, it's kind of you're shooting from the hip. And some of them turn out to be sales, some of them don't, but you don't have a consistent process that you take every prospect through. You're overcome by objections. So someone throws an objection at you. Every now and then you might overcome it. But for the most part, you have a hard time overcoming objections. So they say, I want to talk to my wife. And you say something like, okay, yeah, totally understand. I'll tell you what, go ahead and go talk to her. And then I'll look forward to hearing from you for tomorrow. You say something like that. It's kind of lowering your status. So I'm going to show you, if you're having trouble overcoming objections, this video is going to help you. If you're getting ghosted on follow-ups. Now, hear me out. Everybody's going to get ghosted every now and then. But you can actually do some things that'll help you not to get ghosted. So if you're getting ghosted consistently on follow-ups, this video is for you. And then you're relying on luck for good leads. So this is something that's very common. You see it with just about every type of sales professional. You're relying on luck for leads. So if you're in car sales, you're relying on that one person walking into the dealership hoping that they're a hot lead and that they're ready to buy right now, right? If you're a real estate agent, you're hoping somebody just finds your number or somebody gives you like it's a referral that you don't even know about, right? You can look in just about every type of sales and there's usually people relying on luck. So I'm going to show you how you don't have to rely on luck anymore. So if any of these, if you're at any of these points in point A, this video is going to be helpful for you. If you're knocking all of these out of the park, which some of you might be, you can still watch if you want. You're probably not going to get a whole lot of value because you've probably dialed in all of these different areas. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go through these 5 pillars: self-leadership, sales process, objection handling, pipeline management, and social media lead generation. And at the end of these 5 pillars, you're going to be breaking barriers in your income. So you're going to break through that ceiling that you keep hitting your head on. You're going to 2x your close rate. And that's really important, guys, because everyone says, oh, I want to make 10K a month in sales. I want to make 15K a month in sales. And they're focusing on the money instead of the actual metric that's going to make the biggest difference. You have to focus on your close rate. If you're making 3K a month right now and you double your close rate, now you're making 6K a month. So everyone's focused on the money instead of focusing on the skills to actually increase their close rate. And when you increase your close rate, you will make more money. You're going to have you need a consistent sales process. So we want to take you from point A of no clarity on how to sell consistently to having a consistent sales process. Guys, I have the same conversation with every single prospect, but that prospect has no idea that we're having the same conversation that I've had hundreds of times, probably thousands now, right? So having a consistent sales process is extremely important because it becomes predictable and you're going to be able to tell now when you're in a conversation, oh, this guy's moving forward. This guy's moving forward. This person's moving forward. So having that consistent sales process is extremely important. You're going to be able to overcome objections. And here's the deal. You're going to be able to overcome objections without feeling sleazy or pushy. I was in door-to-door sales for a little while. I had a manager. I actually ended up quitting because the manager kept trying to get me to do sleazy things that I didn't want to do as a Christian. It didn't line up with my values. It didn't line up with my morals. And so you're going to be able to overcome objections without feeling pushy or sleazy. Next, you're going to be able to increase your response rates and follow-up. So you're going to have more people reaching back out to you. Like when you start to go do that follow-up, you're going to have people reaching back out. They're going to be having a conversation with you. And then lastly, you're going to have an ecosystem around you that generates warm leads consistently through social media. This is a huge one. So let's go through these 5 pillars. If you want to go from any of these point A's to these point B's, or maybe you're all of them, let's go through it. So first of all, you got to work on your self-leadership. What does this mean? You've probably seen some of the sales trainers out there. They're all about working out, things like that. I think that's great. Like, I work out 4 to 5 days a week. I'm weightlifting. I go for long walks/jogs because I do believe that's a big part of self-leadership. More than that, though, in sales, it's not just about self-leadership. It's not just about working out. It's about training your sales skills every single day for at least 15 minutes. So, there's all kinds of ways you can do that, but you got to be training your sales skills every day. Okay, so work out, train your sales skills every day, and guys, also always be working on yourself in different areas of your life. So if you're overweight, work on getting in shape, right? If you feel tired every single day, maybe go get a blood test, see if you're vitamin deficient. Like, lead yourself. No one else is going to lead you. You need to lead yourself so that you can be on the ball every single day. You need to be on point every single day, because in your conversations, if you aren't sharp, people are not going to want to buy from you. You have to be someone they admire. You have to be someone who's professional. You have to be someone who is on point. And when you're on point, you're going to sell a whole lot more. So you got to lead yourself. The next thing you need to do is you need to dial in your sales process. So this is kind of the process I go through. You have a pre-frame. It's how you start the conversation. You have kind of a middle area, and I call it, you need like a toolbox of questions. So a lot of people are doing these consultative sales now, where they ask questions, and they'll ask a question like, okay, what are your goals over the next, year? Where would you like to be? And no matter what the person says, the salesperson will go, awesome, that's great. And then they go into the next question. Guys, clients, prospects see through this. They see through consultative sales. And so if you want to take your sales game to the next level, you need a sales process that feels conversational. Every single one of my sales calls, it feels conversational. It feels like I'm a friend that's just trying to help them out. What I say is, you'll see the most conversions when you get really good at conversations. Conversions happen through conversations. If you're being like a consultative type salesperson, where you're like the doctor giving them the prescription, that's great, but you're not an MD, right? A doctor has all of that authority. But if you're able to have a conversation, it becomes a whole lot easier to move the sell forward. So if you want to dial in your sales process, you got to have a pre-frame, you got to have that toolbox of questions, and then you have to know how to close the deal in a way that takes all the pressure out of it so that they're more likely to move forward. A lot of salespeople, they're great at the first two. They're great at getting people to the point of almost buying, and then they ruin it because they talk so much or they say the wrong words. So pre-frame, then have a toolbox of questions that you can go to so that it's a conversation. Then lastly, you got to be able to close the deal using good language, right? You got to be able to close the deal in a way that takes all the pressure out of it, makes it so easy for the prospect to say yes. Okay. So you got to do self-leadership. And I realize I still had this highlighted: self-leadership, the sales process, and then objection handling. Okay. So objection handling, this one is huge. Now, the reason sales process comes before objection handling is because if you dial in the sales process, it feels like a conversation, you're going to notice that a whole lot less objections come up. However, there will still sometimes be objections that come up. So you got to know how to handle those. So there's kind of, a few objections that everyone gets. I got to talk to my wife about it. That's mostly in B2C. I got to talk to my board. That's B2B, right? I got to talk to the leadership team, that kind of thing. We don't have enough money for this. I don't think this is going to work for us. It's not in the budget. You could probably think of 5 or 6 objections that come up all the time for you. You got to figure those out, and you got to figure out how to overcome them. Okay. And you got to be able to overcome them like that. Like, it's got to be ingrained in you exactly what to do. Now there's some processes that you can put into place, but the bottom line is you just got to practice. You got to learn how to overcome these objections and the 5, 6 objections that come up all the time for you, right? You could probably write them down. The truth is, if you overcame those objections, you would see your commission income skyrocket. Okay. So objection handling, then pipeline management. So pipeline management, this is huge. And what I mean by pipeline management is, how do you follow up with leads? How do you follow up with the people that you've had conversations with? Because how you follow up with them is going to determine how they show up. How you follow up with them is going to determine if they actually have a conversation and engage with you, or if they ghost you. And a lot of salespeople, they do this the wrong way. They sound like salespeople. They sound like a salesperson. You don't want to sound like a salesperson. You want to sound like a friend that's trying to help. So pipeline management, this is huge. And it also has to do with calling old leads, things like that, right? So if you can manage your pipeline where you're calling old leads, they're booking calls with you, they're coming to meet with you, whatever your process is, that's going to do a whole lot for you to help you make a whole lot more money. Okay. And then lastly, social media lead generation. So the goal with this is to build an ecosystem of people who trust you. So guys, I don't say this to brag. If you go to Instagram, if you go to Thomas_Breedlove_, you're going to see I have a following of I haven't checked, probably like 98,000, 97,000 followers. Okay. The way I built that was I shared my faith. I talked about like what I believe in. I prayed for people and that kind of stuff. And I started building an audience. Now, I didn't build that Instagram to make money off of it. I built it to minister to people. And so I want you to take a look at that, because you're going to see like people commenting, amen, that kind of stuff. And then I was also getting messages from people that needed prayer and stuff like that. And now I'm taking that skill that I built in that Instagram page. I'm doing it with my Win at Work with Thomas stuff. A lot of you watching this probably came from that page, my Win at Work with Thomas. Guys, that page is growing. You know, I started it not long ago. It's starting to grow. I'm generating leads every day, and I'm having conversations every day. In fact, some of you that are watching this, we had a conversation, and that's the reason you're watching this. And so no matter what type of sales you're in, I'm going to show you a way that you can build an ecosystem using Instagram and YouTube. You can build an ecosystem of people that want to meet with you, that want to buy from you, that trust you. And this applies in any industry. If you're a realtor, if you're a car salesman, if you're someone who does remote sales, guys, your social profile can be something that generates leads. Now, the reason this is number 5, social media lead gen, the reason this is number 5 is because it's not completely necessary for all of you. Some of you don't want to do this part. You just want these first 4. You want the self-leadership, sales process, objection handling, and pipeline management. But for you guys that are really ambitious and want to go to that next level, you got to have an ecosystem around you that generates leads, warm leads consistently. And you do this through building a social media profile. And guys, you can start with 0 followers. My Thomas_Breedlove_ Instagram, my personal Instagram, that started at 0 followers. I literally didn't have social media from age 18 to 24. Within 3 months, it was close to 100,000 followers. Right. And I've just kind of stayed there. Right. So building a social media platform can be extremely fast. My Win at Work with Thomas stuff, I started it maybe 3 weeks ago, I think, at the time of recording this. It's already at 100 followers, and I'm getting people messaging me saying, I'm loving what you're putting out. So you got to build an ecosystem. And now this can take time. Okay. But over time, if you're consistent with it, you're going to build trust. People are going to know you. They're going to like you. They're going to trust you, which means they want to buy from you. Okay. So if you want to break barriers in your income, if you want to have 2x your close rate, if you want to have consistent sales, a consistent sales process that sells, overcome objections, increase your responses and follow up, and have an ecosystem around you that generates warm leads, this is all going to help you to make more money. If you want to do that, look in the link in the description. You can click on it. It's going to be able to book a call on my calendar. If you want me to walk you step by step on how we could do this with you, we'll just have a quick conversation. Best way is probably to do it on a Zoom call, right? I want to get to know you. You probably want to get to know me. We want to figure out how we can get you from where you are to where you want to be in sales. And here's the deal. Either way, you're going to walk away with value. So there's really 2 options you have. It's either you see this and you try to apply all of this on your own, right? Everything we've talked about, self-leadership, sales process, objection handling, pipeline management, social media lead gen. If you have all those, you're going to make money. If you want to figure out how to do that on your own, you can, or you can kind of shortcut the process and jump on a call with me. So click the link in the description of this video, book a call with me, and we're going to show you how you can accelerate your sales over the next 90 days by applying these 5 steps. And I'm going to walk you through exactly how you can apply these. Hope this video helped you. I'll see you in the next one.